I found out from one of the ladies that was the manager. She called me Queen. She says, Queen, they have put iron doors on the feet, she says, and that means they don't want you to come back. And I was very upset about the whole thing. Naturally, I wanted to come back home. We all wanted to come back home.
So as a resident leader and a longtime resident, you cared about bringing Lafitte back for the resident.
Yes, I did. We didn't know where we were going, and we didn't think it was fair the way we were treated. Jim Kelly says, Miss Emelda, I need you to go with me to Washington. I said, what am I going to Washington for? He said, to testify about you want something better for the residents. I said, of course I'll go.
How many times did you go to D.C. to testify?
I went twice. The first time I went, I was explaining to them that I want to see something better for our people. And if it means coming up here and testifying, then I'll do it. Right after everything was over, Jim asked me, Miss Emelda, do you know who those people were in our meeting? I said, no. Who were they? He said they were Republicans and Democrats. I said, well, they all look the same to me.
So they were members of Congress that you were talking to. Yeah,
yes,
they were congressional hearings.
Because this was my first time, I said what I had to say.
And you do that very well. How many meetings occurred then where we reached out to residents where you might have participated, trying to locate the residents and get their input on the rebuilding of Lafitte?
We had several meetings in New Orleans, but what we did a survey which asked, do you want to come back? And if you want to come back, how many rooms do you need? And we got a good response from the people. And then we went to Houston, and we had a meeting over there. We got in touch with as many residents as possible, and we were in this like an auditorium, and we wanted to make sure that their voice was heard, and the things that they wanted, we wanted them to speak up, to say what it was. The most important thing is letting the people know that we want you back.
What is better about what's built now versus what was there before?
It was a beautiful brick building. But then as time changed, it begins to get older, and it was just deteriorating. I had mold in my back bedroom for years. Nothing was done. So it was time to get rid of this. It was time to give us, as I used to say, a new Jerusalem. And what we have now, my God, I like the cottages.
So you've been living back at Lafitte since?
About 2 years ago. I got so wrapped up with doing so many other things till management had two of the staff to come to me and said, Miss Emelda, it is time for you to go to your place. And they brought me. I said, you got to be kidding. It was like in another world. It was gorgeous. And it is beautiful. As I said before, a new Jerusalem.